would be investigating Charlie Adelson.
Okay.
Maybe it's that simple.
What makes you say that?
The family is so unhealthily enmeshed. The Wendi is not really an adult.
This is what
Charlie had been examining all the options.
Okay.
He's a very successful dentist, but he reeks of antisocial behavior. It's a pretty screwed up family. I mean, and they're weird, but I don't have a time imagine them being involved, but they are strange people.
Right.
I mean, in 9 months of dating her, they probably said 20 words to me.
Okay.
This is not coming up.
Okay, I tell you what, let's just do this.
We are going to be finally doing the interrogation of Professor Jeffrey LaCasse, who is Wendi Adelson's ex-boyfriend. Let's listen to this. I think at this point, Wendi Adelson and Jeff have already been broken up, but I think only for a couple days. But it's going to be very interesting to hear the communication between the two of them before the murders and I guess after the murders as well. I can't imagine dating someone and just be like, you know what? Their family did it and my ex-girlfriend was a mastermind, you know? Like, I can't imagine, like, what were you doing dating this person then? Or maybe something really went down in the relationship between you, her, and her family. I just want to know what happened because I don't know. I've never seen this before. It's going to be my first time reacting. I think a lot of you guys have seen this, but let's watch it together. And why is she standing like that? And why is her face like, it's like she's smiling, but not. Is this like a police photo that they took of her? It is a very awkward photo.
Okay. All right. Mr. LaCasse, I appreciate you coming in and talking with me here. Like I said, we're still in the preliminary stages of this investigation.
Yeah.
Your name did come up,
Of course.
Because you were associated at some point with Wendi,
Of course.
which is his ex-wife, as I'm sure
Yeah, that picture is really corny. I'm like, what is that picture of Wendi? It's very awkward.
you know.
Yeah.
So basically just, I appreciate you coming in.
Sure.
I want to ask you some questions, kind of figure out where you were, if you've heard anything, if you have any information that would be helpful to us.
Yeah.
Just kind of run that whole gamut. Okay, so
Oh my God, that would look like a Wendi Adelson action figure. Oh, no, no, no. He looks disappointed. Who, Jeff does?
Before you get started, is this?
I'm sorry.
Is this on the record as I give you this
Yeah,
statement?
it's on the record.
Is there any opportunity to talk off the record, or that's not possible?
No, it's possible.
Okay, we do it on the record first, and I have a couple theoretical things that
Sure.
I want to be quoted on, but that,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, we got the theories already?
Is that Windrush Village,
It is.
apartment 41?
Mm-hmm.
How do you like the neighborhood over there?
It's cheap. It's $500 a month. I'm saving for a house, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I used to live right over there off of Claremont.
Wait, $500 for what?
Right there
For rent or
across the
something?
road.
Is that what you said?
That's over there, yeah.
Well, like you said, it's kind of cheap over there.
Yeah.
That's where I first moved when I got out of college. But
Gotcha.
anyway, that's neither here nor there. Do you have any contact numbers that I can reach you at? Should I
Sure.
need to talk to you later?
Sure.
I think I talked to you on a 294 number.
That's the number. That's the only number I have.
That's your number.
But I think when you're like in a police interrogation, I don't think there is such thing as off the record. Like, as long as you're sitting in that room, it's going to be recorded and they can still use it. It's not like a reporter thing, you know? I don't think there's an off the record when speaking to a police officer. Unless you're out of that room, you're one-to-one with the police officer, you know that they're not recording. I don't know if there's such thing as like, oh, can we just like speak off the record? I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe calling in anonymously and you can try doing that, but he's like, we do this off the record. It's like,
Number. Okay, I got that one. Just tell me a little bit about yourself as far as your background and stuff like that, and kind of what you and Wendi.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually got my PhD here at Florida State from 2000 2008.
Okay.
Graduated from FSU, went to Arizona for 5 years, and this is my first year back. So I met Wendi maybe a month after I got back.
at
There
FSU?
in September of 2013.
Okay.
We were set up on a date by a mutual friend I work with.
Damn, who was that work buddy?
Talked to Jane. I know you've met Jane, so.
I haven't.
Oh, you have someone met Jane. She was in here when Wendi did her long 9-hour.
Snitching is off the record. I think only if you're like an informant. I think if you're snitching, I think they might drag your ass back into court anyways and subpoena you and get you to testify. This is one of Wendi exes. Yeah, so this is Jeff LaCasse. This is Wendi Adelson's ex-boyfriend. And he had some very interesting theories about the Adelson family.
Okay.
Started dating in September
and
2013.
I think you've talked to somebody about that because you know about it.
I talked to Jane for 5 minutes. I've been out of town.
Okay.
And Wendi and I are estranged at the moment, so it's pretty bad timing in terms of that.
Oof.
So I can get to that as I give you the tail end of it.
Sure.
So we started dating in September. Did it all through the fall.
Okay.
Wasn't serious back then. She was dating other people as well. Came back from Christmas break, had a conversation, decided to date more seriously, and by March 1, we're a couple, we're girlfriend, boyfriend.
By March of 2014?
Yeah. And then spent a lot of time with Wendi. I don't think anybody's been with Wendi more than me in the last 6 months.
Okay.
She has 2 kids. I've been over there, I'd say 8.
Was he the guy she was dating when her ex-husband was killed? I think if I remember correctly, I think they had broken up a couple days before. I'm sure he'll reveal that. So if he says that, I'll be sure to point that out. 80
or 90% of nights I'm over there. And every single night that she doesn't have the kids, with maybe just 1 or 2 exceptions, if she's in town, I've slept over. So I spent a lot of time with her. We had some problems.
Where's that at?
That's 3303 Aqua Ridge Way in Corn. Always at her house, never at mine. I got a shitty apartment, as you know.
Oh, one day before they broke up?
We ran into some problems in May and June. Started fighting.
And I'm not here to get into your personal life.
Yeah, but I think it may bear. Go ahead. Yeah.
But given the severity of this incident,
Yes.
I mean, I am going to pry a little bit. I hope you
Pry
don't
as
get
much as
offended by that.
I'm not offended.
Ultimately, I mean, what our goal is to.
That's what people think. People think that the Adelsons were trying to frame him for the murder because apparently the getaway car was a Prius. He drives a Prius or something. And then, I don't know. I don't know too much about it yet to say anything about that. Hi, Turbo. Hey, Palermo. And then also, they mentioned that apparently they knew that he was going to be up there in Tallahassee. And so it would have been a perfect way to like frame him for it. So it would be like, she breaks up with him. He's so angry that he goes after the ex-husband. But yeah, I don't know too much yet. I think you guys know more than I do.
Is to find out who did this and to bring them to justice.
I get it. I get it.
So
anything you need to ask. That helps me because I don't want to volunteer my BS if it's not useful to you. So tell me what's useful to you. I'll do anything you want to.
Yeah, and with that, I'll just tell me everything, and I'll write down what's useful and discard the rest.
Okay.
I know, Red, driving a Prius for a getaway car as hitman. Like, I don't know. That's driving a Prius. Like, seriously.
So what kind of problems were you getting into in May and June? Was it?
Yeah. Jeez, this is gonna be public. This is fucked up.
Wait, what was that?
I said if this goes public, it's just I know how this works.
Well, if this goes public, this is me fucked up.
It probably won't.
Okay.
What was that about?
I was just same thing. I was just trying to say, look, let's just forgive him, forget him. Both of us will move on here, But she wanted me to just roll over, and it's a little too stubborn. Didn't trust her anymore, and it's damaged beyond repair probably. But I was in love with this girl, man, so it was hard. She wanted me to just roll over, and it's a little too stubborn. Didn't trust her anymore, and it's damaged beyond repair probably. But I was in love with this girl, man, so it was hard. Maybe with the kids, I'm like a co-parent basically. It was really rough.
How old are the kids?
3 and 4. Yeah, Ben and Lincoln. So the next night, and by the way, while she's in South Florida, she is completely miserable. She gets depressed, she gets anxious, and she's got her baggage. But even though we didn't have much contact, I never heard her as bad as she was this trip to South Florida. I mean, this blew up her world.
And how do you know she was in a bad place?
Just because when we talked, she was just...
So she did call you like later
Yeah,
on?
14 days, I got 3 phone calls.
When did you contact Jane?
Contacted Jane on Saturday when I was emailed that Danny had been shot.
Is he referring to, oh no, I'm thinking of June. June Umchinda is one of the ex-girlfriends of Charlie Adelson. Who's Jane?
And I called Jane, and And I said, hey, I don't know if I should contact Wendi or not. This seems like this is way more important than a stupid no contact email. And she said, yeah, just email, just text her. And I sent her just a nice text saying, you know, I care a lot about you and the kids. If you need anything, I know we're in a strange place, but if you need anything, you please let me know. I'm always here, you know. And she didn't even text back.
When was that?
That was Saturday at 2 p.m.
Well, I mean, she's got a lot on her mind right now.
She does, but the thing was, she's texting with Jane. She's calling other people, mutual friends. She's in touch with lots of other people.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
and this may be too messy for her.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to. I
wouldn't take that personal.
No, I'm not.
At this point.
No, I'm not. I know she's
Hey,
in a
Aaron.
mess. I sent her a book for her little kids about bereavement from Amazon, and that'd be the last contact I have. So.
All right, you sent a text on Saturday
2 p.m.
to her. It went unanswered.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. We'll see.
And then I'm on the phone with Jane 5 minutes later, and Jane's like, oh, I'm getting a text from Wendi. So I know she was around, you know.
And her phone was working.
Yeah.
See, that's why we gotta listen to Wendy's interrogation. Because I want to know what Wendi says. I think the interrogation that I found was like 4 hours long. So we might do like a 2 hour and a 2 hour split or something. I also want to see what Wendy's gonna say.
Okay.
So that's
Do you know if she's dating anyone else?
I'm going to have to speculate a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, we're investigating any and all leads.
Oh no,
So
not
if you're
Corey
looking
Richards.
for a potential...
Corey Richards' book. Corey Richards' book came out like I think late. Like when was it? Yeah, way later. Like 8-9 years later, way later. However, Wendi does have a book, and I thought it'd be kind of funny if I read the book and told you guys about it, so you guys won't have to read it. I was thinking about reading Wendy's book and also Becky Hill's book.
love triangle, if that's the issue. Like, you know, someone that would...
We're still trying to figure all this out.
Yeah. It's weird because I don't want to sound just like the jealous boyfriend, you know what I mean? So
We're taking all that into consideration too, and I mean...
Okay, there's going to be a lot of men that are enamored of Wendi, that are really into Wendi and feel protective over Wendi, and there's a few of them. Now, I don't know which of these guys.
A few of them. Maybe it's just her family members. Yeah, men like her brother, her dad, you know, and even Donna as well.
She's going to say, oh, that's just a friend, and that's true. I don't know. But I'm, you know, skeptical.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You say she can kind of put men under her spell.
Absolutely. It's in it.
For lack of a better term.
No, it's true. It's true. I was caught, yeah.
Who's the guy that is, like, totally that guy, just out of sorts, not himself, would do anything for her?
Yeah, who are the other
I don't
guys?
think it's like,
Do you think there's anybody like that out there?
well, I wonder. You guys would have access to find out that. I've always suspected there's a guy in South Florida because not getting my phone calls returned, all this kind of stuff. And she goes to South Florida a lot.
Okay.
And there's a weird pattern of behavior. And so my suspicion has always been that there was a guy in South Florida. I wouldn't know who that was.
All right. Can you tell me where you were, like, up to and immediately after
Sure.
Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. Thursday night, I was very upset about all this, and I was going to Tennessee on Friday or Saturday. I had big plans. I called my friend and said, I'm really upset. He said, get in your car and drive. So Thursday at...
Wait, you say Tennessee or Tallahassee? Life's too short to read the book in full. I don't think it's a lot of pages.
7-ish, I just
200
started driving
maybe?
north on 319 to get to 75. I drove probably halfway to Tennessee, stayed in a suburb of Atlanta Thursday night. Friday I drove to Tennessee, Harrogate, Tennessee. And I just got back.
So when you drove, what'd you drive? Your vehicle?
My car, my 2004 Nissan Sentra.
Wait, I thought he had a Prius. Hold on a second. Someone in chat was like, he has a Prius, just like the same car the Hitman used. Does he have a second car or something? I don't know. This doesn't strike as a guy who has a second car right now. Especially since he's like really worried about budgeting and stuff like that. He's trying to save up money for, what's he trying to do? Grad school? Read the Kindle preview?
And you said you stopped in the suburb of Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
Can't remember. I stayed at a really crappy Days Inn, maybe 20 miles south of Atlanta.
2004 Nissan Sentra? Is that what he said?
20 miles south of Atlanta.
Yeah, roughly. I could pull up a credit card receipt if you really need to know.
Oh, that's right. He already has his PhD. Sorry. He said he was saving it for... What was he saving it for again? Oh, sorry. He was saving to buy a house. Both Wendi and Charlie seem to have the ability to pull people under a spell. If you look into June's interview, she found it really hard to speak ill of him. Yeah. I was thinking of watching June's testimony. And I thought it was really interesting that after she got off the stand, she like went up to him, like smiled at him. It's like, ugh.
Pay with a credit card?
Yeah. Use my credit card on the whole trip. And I stayed with a very close friend up there and his wife. So I stayed at their house.
Okay. Okay, so if you just let me get a timeline here.
Yeah.
So Thursday you started driving. You drove up to roughly Atlanta.
Yeah, about 11:30 I pulled over. Yeah, it's getting tired.
All right, what time did you get up and leave?
Oh, I left at 9 a.m. I couldn't sleep that night. I was upset about Wendi. So I probably was out watching TV till 2:30, and I got up at 8:15, and I took a shower, got out of there at 9.
What time did you check out? 9?
I didn't check out. It's just one of those crappy fleabag hotels. I just got in my car.
Okay, so he said this was like, what, Thursday, Friday? This must be before the murders then? Let's go back, 2014.
And I'm in Tennessee by 2:30.
And then when did you start coming back?
I left Sunday at about 10:30. Stopped in Kennesaw, Georgia to stay the night with a friend, and just got back.
I talked to my boss as far as whatever you wanted to talk about off the record.
Yeah.
And she gave me the answer that I kind of expected she would. And ultimately, it depends on what it is you're going to say. Because if it's something that's instrumental to the investigation, it can't really be off the record because, I mean, we're trying to solve a guy's life.
Oh, yeah. The audio for this video is all over the place. Usually I can talk over a video when they're not saying anything important, but yeah, I forgot the background noise just be like really fuzzy or something.
I know. It's hearsay. It's tertiary hearsay. I don't know if that's useful to you. I tell you something, somebody told me, somebody else told me.
Yeah, I mean, and you'd have to tell me what it was, and I would have to say, okay, is this something that can be excluded from the report, or is it something that's inculpatory? Is it something that...
Maybe I can just make it simpler than that. Maybe I could just say, I would be investigating Charlie Adelson.
Okay.
Maybe it's that simple.
What makes you say that? And here's another thing. We're talking to a lot of people here.
Sure you are.
And, you know, you're just telling us what you think.
Sure.
And everybody else is doing the same thing. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is just get all the puzzle pieces before we start trying to put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
We're still in the stages of getting all the pieces.
I got you.
So why do you think it would be pertinent for us to investigate Charlie?
He's very angry about Danny. And if you met, I know he's down there, you can't get him in front of you, but you're, experienced investigator. If you got in front of this guy, he'd set off your radar, set off mine. I used to do juvenile justice, I used to do forensic psychiatry. He set off my radar a little bit. He's a weird guy, strange guy. He's a conduct disorder kid, and he hates Danny.
And he's only been dating Wendi for, what, a couple months? And the fact that he says that, like, this guy right here, Charlie, hates Danny. Damn, they must have been super overt with their hatred towards Danny. I wonder if he's going to say anything about Harvey and Donna Adelson, which are Danny's parents.
And see if I can put it a little vaguely, or not, but just enough to be useful here.
Let's not put it vague. Let's go with what you know specifically.
Wendi had reported to me that Charlie had considered all the options possible to take care of this problem. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And when she said it...
When did she disclose this to you?
I don't remember when. But she said it was chilling.
No, not the awkward photo again. Can you guys find out where this picture is from? I'm so sorry. It's so fucking awkward.
Because she said, "Can I tell you something confidentially?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "I think Charlie kind of looked into some options, like literally saw how and why and how you would do this if you did it. I think this was last summer when she had her petition to relocate denied. That family wants her back there so bad. If you
This is when she disclosed this to you, was last summer?
No. This is when.
This is when
Charlie had been examining all the options.
Okay.
He's a very successful dentist, but he reeks of antisocial behavior. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but I wouldn't want to miss that if I was investigating it. He's got a close friend who's a ex-Special Forces guy, like a Navy SEAL or something, he hangs out with all the time.
What did she say to you specifically? I mean, when you say all options.
She said, Charlie... remember exactly, but it had something to do with the amount of money it would cost to have someone killed.
And what did she say?
Something like Charlie looked into how much it would cost to have someone killed. Something like that. Some statement like that. I can't remember.
Did she give you a dollar amount? Did she?
But that's the other thing. He's a dentist, but he's an independent businessman. He has a bunch of practices, and he's a Ferrari. I think he's a millionaire, all this kind of stuff. So he has a lot of resources.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna watch the testimony of Charlie Adelson, because I haven't really heard much from Charlie Adelson. So as I'm like slowly learning about this case, I don't know. My theory so far is that I think Wendi, of course she doesn't want her family to get in trouble for this, but just in case, if the authorities were starting to look at Wendi, I think Wendi planned on having her entire family thrown in the bus from the get-go. I don't know. That's just a feeling that I'm getting. Like the fact that she would tell investigators during her interrogation at the very beginning that like, oh yeah, my brother like jokingly said it was cheaper to buy a TV than hire a hitman, like planting seeds everywhere. I don't know. That's just a feeling that I get from Wendi. But it's still really early for me to like say it with like for sure.
And
with confidence.
Wow, this might screw them. I got from me talking to him myself in the hot tub one time, from a few things Wendi said.
When was this?
Like March 15th-ish. I was there for the one day with him. I stayed at his house.
Of this year?
Yes. Wendi and him were talking. I'm just listening. I just met him an hour earlier. We're sitting in the hot tub having a beer. It's a really nice house. And I guess this is what occurred.
Was anybody else in the hot tub with you guys?
Not during this part of the conversation. Another guy, his roommate came in eventually, and they just started to talk about girls and stuff like that. But, and I'm not trying to play cop here, but I do know one thing you'd be looking for is a lump sum of money moving around and some kind of crazy stuff happened. And I think there's a lot of financial irregularities. I think there's a lot of tax fraud kind of stuff, and putting stuff in different people's names and moving money around, and there might be cash. I don't know exactly what, but he's not doing anything on the up and up in his finances. It was pretty clear. He was pretty open about that. So I thought about if you guys do look into it, I don't know that.
How did the exact conversation in the hot tub go?
He was just talking about, I put that in Dad's name, I put that in Mom's name, and it was just clear that...
Hiding resources.
Yeah.
Monetary resources.
Yeah. So if you have to do an investigation, that's something you guys should know, because I think there's a lot of... I don't know if it's illegal, but I know there's a lot of... he plays the system, This guy's so inappropriate. We're sitting... Please don't write this down, but he's so inappropriate. We're sitting in the hot tub, and he starts talking about sex acts with his girlfriend.
Who is this? Is that June? I don't know if it's June or not. I don't even know what that says.
He did to punish her for bad behavior in front of his sister.
Ew.
I'm like, and I didn't know what to do. I just met him, protected him with my girlfriend. This is just so weird, It's like this guy's, his social radar is way off. His sense of right or wrong, just norms is just off. He set off my radar. Now, I don't know if he did this. But if you're looking at somebody, don't miss him.
What? This picture looks so crazy. Is this like one of his arrest photos or something? I need to know where these pictures come from. Where is this picture from? It looks like a fucking crazy person here.
And I could also see him doing this without ever telling Wendi he didn't do it. I can see Wendi being innocent, puzzled, and Charlie did. I can totally see that scenario. He's very protective of her. I think that's more likely than romantic. All the romantic couplings are with highly educated, high elite status men.
You don't want to throw that away.
Who've got a lot to lose. I mean, she doesn't slum that I know of.
Well, I mean, like, as a dentist, how did he even style that hair? Did he, like, style it down or something maybe to make it look nice? Did they just cut him out of bed?
She doesn't slum that I know of at all. And she doesn't.
Well, I mean,
Stop.
this Charlie guy's a millionaire by your own admission. So
Yes. Well, he is. He's got this buddy.
he's got a lot to lose.
He does. He does. He's also really cocky and arrogant and narcissistic. So.
Yeah, he probably gels it down or something. Just have it, like, long, like, gel down hairstyle. I think it's possible the family knew what was up and did it without Wendi knowing, and Wendi was smart enough to know what was going on. Okay.
I wish you had him in front of you, because I think he'd set off your alarm bells. That doesn't mean he did it, but he's aggressive, he's argumentative, self-focused on himself completely. He's got 3 girlfriends at a time, which some people do that, I know, but no qualms about it, you know.
So you think he may be good for it?
Assuming this isn't a botched burglary or something like that, he's the first. Charlie popped into my head within 20 seconds of hearing this.
Katie who?
Just to give you some context that may be helpful, last summer when they were trying to figure out how to manipulate this divorce or work the divorce, I guess, so they could get, some bad fight, all this kind of stuff.
Here comes Donna. I really want to know what he's going to say about Donna.
Or work the divorce, I guess, so they could get, some bad fight, all this kind of stuff. They were talking about Wendi converting the kids to Christianity just to annoy Danny. I mean, this has been a pitched battle, I mean, we fed the kids bacon regularly. He tries to keep them kosher. There's all kinds of passive aggressive shit going on here, So the family is, it's important that you know this, actually, man. The family is so unhealthily enmeshed, so completely enmeshed, that Wendi is not really an adult. When she drives to South Florida, every single time those 2 parents drive up here and drive with her down. They don't trust her to drive from Tallahassee to Miami. They're just, it's not a normal family. It's not like she's a 35-year-old woman that has 2 kids and come down to see us. It's complete enmeshment. It's a matter of they've infantilized her. She's considered the baby still. She's 35 years old. Charlie protects her. So,
Do y'all remember how much older Charlie is than Wendi? Wendi would inherit everything.
I don't know if this could be a bizarre fantasy. I know you guys are hearing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I hope to God it wasn't Charlie, honestly, but that's what popped into my head. So.
Right. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
I got stuff happening.
I just spit it all out, so you...
Did you really? Okay.
God, oh my God. Stop it. Why are you yelling to the microphone? Hold on a second. The microphone is definitely closer to detectives, which is annoying because I'd rather have it close to him because I want to listen to what he's saying.
All right, thank you. Who did it?
He's thinking, her brother Charlie could be a viable suspect. I mean, I don't know if we've ruled him out or not.
Nobody's ruled out.
I don't think Charlie would have done it, by the way, but he's one of these. He's a real rich guy, but he's got friends on both sides of the tracks, and he's real street smart. He's always trading and stuff like that.
Okay, there you go. So he says, I don't think Charlie did it, but probably hired someone, got someone else to do it. Hi, Oahu. Good morning. How are you doing today? Hey, KK. This is Catherine McBanuel, his ex-girlfriend.
And got this buddy that's in the special
Charlie's ex-girlfriend, not his ex-girlfriend. Charlie's ex-girlfriend.
Forces, and so he's like a dentist, but he's hanging and stuff like that. And got this buddy that's in the special forces, and so he's like a dentist, but he's hanging out with guys that different social class actually, and kind of antisocial, impulsive, angry, fiercely protective of Wendi. And I've heard him say, I'd like to kill that motherfucker. I mean, I've heard him say that so many times. Now, I've said that out loud, too, and I didn't do it, but there's something different about Charlie. He reminds me of, like, an antisocial.
Charlie's an older brother?
Yeah.
She's the baby girl?
She's the baby girl.
Is Charlie older or younger than this one up in Albany?
He's the middle kid, I think.
Charlie is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. There's another son as well. So that son is the oldest. I think that's the son that cut off the entire Adelson family. Good for him.
If you had him in front of you, he'd set off your alarm bells.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he did it, but...
No, I know that, but
Yeah.
why? Okay, all right. So you're basically saying out of, what's his name up in Albany?
Yeah, Rob, no way, Rob, no way.
He's the oldest?
Yeah, he's the oldest, yeah.
Out of Charlie, mom, dad, who else is there?
Donna.
It's just Charlie, mom, dad, down there, that's
okay.
it. That's it.
All right, out of those three, you're saying Charlie would be the most volatile to do something? What would he do?
He'd get his buddy in the special forces to do this, or he'd get some seedy guys down in the Cuban neighborhood or something like that. That's what he would do. Something like that. I mean, the main thing I told him was that Wendi had told me that he had looked into how much it would cost last summer.
Wendi told you that?
She did.
It's actually crazy how spot on he is so far.
That Charlie had looked into how much it would cost.
Yeah.
So,
She said it in a dead serious, chilling, uncomfortable kind of way. Not like I joke around, I like to kill Dan Markel, I'm sick of his shit. That's different. You know, this was like, she said confidentially.
okay, she just, you and her one-on-one?
One-on-one, late at night, and
What'd you suppose that last?
it was late at night, and she told me that. So it was last summer when her petition to relocate was about to be denied.
Oh, because she wanted to take the kids out?
Well, they want her down.
Wait, sorry, I just want to go back a little bit.
Oh, because she wanted to take the kids out?
Well, they want her down there so bad. The family's so enmeshed, so tight, so unhealthy. She's like the baby. So, if you met Charlie, he's an unusual guy.
Okay,
No.
so, if you, just so I understand, and I don't misinterpret,
Yeah.
what exactly, how did she say it, and what did she exactly say?
Yeah, and I'm pulling it from memory, but something like, I said, we're also talking about us, because I was like, would you ever leave under any circumstances? Yeah, I know you don't love it here. Am I going to be dating you for 2 years and you just move? She's like, I can't because of Danny. And she said, yeah, as a matter of something about it would be convenient if Danny wasn't around anymore, but, he doesn't want anything to happen to him or something like that. She said, but Charlie.
Mm-hmm. It'd be very interesting to see what's on the iPhones, the iPads that you took from, did they take it from Harvey as well? I know Donna's was taken. Was it also Harvey?
I actually looked into how that would be done and how much it would cost. She might have said, I think, Charlie. I don't remember. But it was chilling. In the moment, I was like, my stomach flipped. I was like, whoa.
The crux of the statement is my brother Charlie
So this is Dan Markell right here. This is Wendi Adelson's ex-husband. This is the man that was murdered.
has looked into how much it would cost to
Take care of somebody.
take care of it.
This guy has very little empathy. He's just a weird guy.
Okay.
I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying if you're looking at somebody, you can't miss Charlie. I mean, I
Okay.
think that's more likely than a romantic thing.
Well, that's you.
Yeah, it's not me.
The other guy's gone. Zach, wherever
he's gone.
he's gone to.
And by the way, make sure that she saw Zach once a week for 20 minutes of sex. I don't know the relationship, I don't think he gives a shit about Wendi, so I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. Size. Yeah. Wait. I don't have time for her.
Okay, detective's on the phone right now.
Before I forget, the other thing is that I didn't know about Zach for 9 months and I was with boyfriend for 6. So I was telling him, I've always suspected there's a guy in South Florida I never know about. Maybe that's just a paranoid boyfriend. But I wouldn't believe Wendi when she says, I'm with Jeff. You got to start from ground zero. She lies. I mean, there's been a lot of men since it were me. So,
Have any of other Wendy's ex-boyfriends or flings or anything come out to talk about this? Harvey and Donna drop off the $100,000 in the middle of the night for the payment. Harvey knew. Yeah, I just wonder if they just don't have enough against Harvey right now. Or are they just like doing the slow thing where it's like, they did the hitman, they went over Katie, and then finally they went over Charlie. Then they got Donna. So I'm just so surprised. Like everyone's just going down very, very, very slowly. The fact that like I thought Donna, you know, like if I was like looking at this right now, I thought Donna and like Charlie would have gone down at the same time. Maybe they didn't have enough on Donna at the moment.
I just wonder if there's a guy in South Florida. She always drops out of sight when she's down there. Phone calls not returned. Voicemail.
Did you go down there?
No, she doesn't let me go. That's why I think there's a guy down there.
Okay. Did Charlie come up here?
Charlie never comes up here.
Okay, how did you meet Charlie then?
Oh, I went to Charlie. I met Charlie one time. I went down there one time for one day.
Okay.
We were in Immokalee, and we just drove over and spent an evening with him. So I spent 4 hours with Charlie.
What are you doing in Immokalee? I know where that is.
Yeah, alternative spring break for FSU kids.
Okay.
So we're helping out the farm workers and stuff.
Okay.
So we spent a night in a hot tub with Charlie, and that was it. But I've always told him, I always suspected that, and I'm the paranoid ex-boyfriend, so right, but she goes to South Florida awful lot.
Okay.
She's always a little weird when she comes back, romantically and stuff like that. So I just always kind of suspected. So I wouldn't, obviously the connection is now she can go to South Florida.
Right.
I mean.
No, we see that part.
Yeah.
Who's this Green Beret, did you say?
And that, I don't know anything about this guy. I just know that on Facebook there's a lot of pictures of him, and Wendy's told me stories about him. He's, I guess the point is that Charlie doesn't just hang out with other dentists. He hangs out with all kinds of people, so it's not like he's some snobby dentist that's not going to hang out with this guy did 5 years in Afghanistan, so it just popped into my head. Like,
Charlie did?
No, Charlie's friend did.
Was Charlie in the military?
Nah, he's a dentist. He's a dentist. So,
Okay.
but when Charlie talks, he talks about a cross-section of people. I mean, he has friends all across the spectrum, including, you know, some unsavory characters.
Let's go back to the statement that she made. I just want to clarify the stuff. She tells you, she goes, yeah, my brother, I think the phone was going off. My brother has checked, or my brother has something along those lines, has inquired as to how much it would cost.
Something like that. I can't give you an exact quote. It might have even been, I think Charlie, here's an example. She might have said, I think Charlie might have looked into how much it cost to actually have that done. You know, he's down there in Miami, where it's, you know, it's not unheard of. Something like that.
All right.
It just had crossed Charlie's mind. Bottom line, it occurred to Charlie that was one way to take care of the problem.
And he wants to help sis?
He is fiercely protective of her. He wants her back in South Florida so bad. The whole family does. She never, you know, you guys know the background? She never wanted to be here, ever. I mean, she came here with Markel. They're supposed to be here a year and then move on. He had a job at Miami. He was an asshole, so he lost it. He said, no, go back to FSU and stay there. They're stuck here. So he's doing great. He's the Sandy Doenberg professor of law and all that stuff. Wendy gets a shitty job that she doesn't really like, doesn't like the area. She's doing her best to make it work. She hates it. Never wanted to live here. Never thought she'd live here.
This is all from her, right?
Yeah, this is all straight from her. Are you kidding me? I'm her boyfriend trying to convince her this is a great place to stay. Get a new attitude. This is a daily conversation, you know? I'm like, I love Tallahassee. Moved here on purpose, you know? So this is a daily conversation. Like, look, it looks pretty, you know? That kind of stuff, you know?
And her whole thing is, no, I still don't like
Because
it.
I'm trying, but it's, you know, I didn't choose it.
Okay.
I didn't choose it, and that makes it hard. I heard that daily.
Yeah, I wonder if Jeff ever decided to sleep with a gun underneath his pillow, because he must have thought that he was going to be the next target. It's not looking great for the family. They're all a little bit deranged. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. So it seems like, you know, Wendy says she hated the job. You know, she got a shitty job in the area in Tallahassee. She hated living there. Probably blames Dan Markell for them living there, and she just wants to get the fuck out. Probably a lot of resentment.
I didn't choose it, and that makes it hard. Okay.
And she loves Miami. She just loves it. When we're down there, she just lights up. It's a whole different thing.
Is it Miami or Fort Lauderdale?
It's Coral Springs, but it's Miami.
Okay.
It's Miami, yeah.
So, so a daily thing is you're trying to tell her how great this area is and so forth, and she's basically putting it down, and that, you know, I'm stuck here. My husband didn't want it or couldn't keep the job at UM. Was it UM or Nova?
It was UM. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And he screwed that up.
Yeah. He was so abrasive. I'm sure you heard a lot about that. He was so abrasive that they're like, "You're a great scholar. We don't want to put up with your butt every day. So get out of here." You know?
Okay.
I mean, he had to work pretty hard to lose that job. Actually.
Okay. What was the reason? I mean, I know that there was some type of contention, and I don't know if it was the child rearing, or do you know that?
I can tell you anything you want to know about that. I've read every legal document that...
No. What did she personally tell you?
Tell me about child rearing?
Well, the reason for their divorce. How did she get to this point?
Oh, Danny was... give you a couple examples of Markell. They would drive from here to Miami as a family. Oh, this is before they had kids even, but even as a family.
When he could have said, look, I'm a lawyer. I know not to talk to police. I want a lawyer for my own peace of mind. Yeah. Yep.
Both. Here to Miami as a family. Oh, this is before they had kids even, but even as a family. Both. And Danny would work on his computer. He had one of those converters so you can plug your laptop in. Wendy was required to drive. And Wendy was required not...
Can you mute your phone?
Wendy was required to drive.
Like, what if you were interrogating a suspect and he was just gonna break and like tell you the juicy details, but damn, your phone's breaking. You know, your phone's like disrupting. And he decides to just, oh, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything anymore.
And Wendy was required not... That's okay.
Sorry. Yes, sir. Say again? Okay, do you have Couch's number? Yeah, I'm going to have him.
Why is this part not
okay,
cut out?
just good.
It was, you may not speak. From Tallahassee to Miami.
From Tallahassee to Miami.
And she said she would be like, Dick, shh, I'm working. Just a total control freak, emotionally abusive, controlled the finances, just ran her shit. And I don't know if he hit her or not, but I can tell you, if you just raise your voice to her like that, she flinches like she's got her ass kicked yesterday. So I've wondered about violence. I don't know. She says no, but people lie. Wendy lies a lot. So he was pretty mean to her. And as she went to get married, every friend she had was begging her, don't marry this guy, he's the biggest asshole we've ever met. And she got caught up in the Harvard law and elitism and all this kind of stuff. And she was in a bad place. Made a bad decision, got married to a guy. I just got divorced last year, so I understand.
Oh, you did?
I got married to the wrong woman, too, so I get it. That's how we bonded, actually. We picked the wrong people before. So it was a bad marriage from day one.
I wonder if, do we hear from any of Dan Markell's friends to see if Wendy's telling the truth? Because I really want to know, like, what Dan Markell and his family and his friends think about Wendy, and maybe they can offer a different perspective of the relationship. Because obviously, when we're hearing from Wendy's mouth, we don't know if it's true or not, right?
I mean, pretty much, according to her at least. By the second year, it was awful. And then having kids will fix it. You know, people try that. So he's also an absent father. I mean, he came home 9 o'clock every night, she claims, and I would play with the kids for 10 minutes. That was it. She did everything, kind of like a house slave. And then when he went to go get divorced, he tried to get 100% custody of the kids. So if you read these legal documents that he's filed, they'll give, I don't know if you've read them, but they give you insight into, like, it's pretty crazy.
I haven't had the time, but I will.
Yeah, it's a lot of lunacy shines through.
But I'm sure he had his side of it, too.
I'm sure he did, and well, that's what I wonder about is with all the stuff I talked about with Wendy with me. I mean, he was controlling. Well, maybe he's trying to keep his wife in control. I don't know. You know.
Right.
But you must have heard he's not. Don't want to speak ill of the dead. He wasn't well liked. It's bizarre to open up the paper and see all these comments about how a great guy he was. I know one person in my social...
Another angle, if Wendy was talking so badly about Dan that she was trying to incense her family to do something about it, maybe possibly Wendy could have been manipulating Jeff as well, hoping that Jeff will be so angry at how Dan treated her and maybe he would do something about it too. But I don't know. We're in conspiracy thoughts right now. I need to know more about this case.
I know one person in my social circle.
Oh, okay.
Jewish
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
You're hovering around.
I'm an honorary Jew, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know what they call me.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know the truth about their marriage, but I do know that it was really, really hard on Wendy. And when it got to the legal stuff, he was vicious. He was really vicious. So.
Anything? Did she ever tell you anything concerning any incidents when Danny and Charlie were together, or Danny and any other family? I mean, was it kind of like, hey, you know, Danny, you sleep over here in the doghouse or something? You know?
No. It was more like the family hate. This is why she didn't introduce me to her parents. She said last time it was so awkward because it went so badly because they all hated Danny. Charlie hated Danny. Her parents hated Danny.
Do you know why?
in person, he is so arrogant. He is so unlikable. He would just talk down to people. He was one of these Harvard guys.
Okay.
And it was just like, when I met him in that awkward meeting, I was early, I was late, he was early, and we met for the first time. He insulted me 3-4 times in 10 sentences, just in subtle, like, haughty, snobby kind of ways, like, oh, are you a lawyer? You know, and just little comments here and there, you know. So he was passive aggressive about it. He wasn't in your face, he wasn't yelling, but he insulted. He would just tell you, say you're stupid.
Okay.
I mean, that's just how he talked. He thought he should do.
He's basically subtly insulting you the entire conversation.
Yeah, and he did. I mean, as far as Wendi and him, he did all kinds of little things to intimidate her. I don't know if he knew he was doing it, but she was scared of him. I would go with her to functions that he was at to kind of reassure her and run interference, because she would get heart palpitations and stuff around him, and it seemed completely out of the scope of normal. I got an ex-wife. I can get in front of her. Not a big deal.
Right.
For her, it was like, will you please come with me to soccer practice or whatever it was? Oh, swim lessons 3 weeks ago. Will you come with me to swim lessons because Danny's going to be there? And she would just freak out.
Did you go?
I did go.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Was everything okay between you and him?
Well, everything was fine.
I'd be really interested to hear from Wendi when she does her interrogation to see if her story is going to align with what Jeff is saying.
We kind of moved through a phase where first we were real friendly, shaking hands, and then we got like, hey, how you doing? I'm not going to shake your hand. We're on different sides of this thing, you know, that kind of thing. But it was always reasonably friendly.
Did she introduce you to him as your boyfriend, your current boyfriend?
No.
Friend?
I don't remember what she said. This is Jeff, I think.
Okay.
That was a point of contention between us. She didn't call me her boyfriend until very recently. So
okay.
I think she might have had other ones. I think that might have been the issue.
Okay.
Maybe Dan Sack was also her boyfriend. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm a little bit apprehensive because like he says that like Wendi, you know, he thinks Wendi lies a lot. So now it's just like, oh man, like what else could Wendi be lying about? Could be lying about Dan Markel as well.
We already got his phone number.
Yes.
Is there anything else I just don't think.
He did say he was willing to give buckle if you need it or want it. Is that something you want to do?
I think so. I can call him back. We have his phone number.
Yeah.
It's taking a second.
And the guy drives in from Georgia, Tennessee, whatever, and comes straight here from what I understand, what you told me.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Okay.
Okay, so he's willing to give his DNA.
Probably didn't give it a second.
Get a buckle swab.
Lies to my face. I've been dating. Write this down, but just so you know, if you're investigating, I've been shocked how easily Wendi lies to my face. I've been dating 25 years. I'm not an inexperienced man out there, but her and Charlie both have this sociopathic kind of thing where it doesn't seem to bug them at all. So if you had her in front of you for 9 hours.
Are her parents from the United States?
They are. They're first generation. I think their parents were Holocaust kind of thing. So yeah. And they're weird, but I don't have a time imagine being involved. But they are strange people.
Right.
I mean, in 9 months of dating her, they probably said 20 words to me.
Okay.
This is not coming up.
Okay, I tell you what, let's just do this.
Okay.
Damn, so he's just like the whole damn family's just weird. Brother's weird, Wendy's weird, mom is weird, dad is weird.
You get your paper copies,
Okay,
send them to Corey for me.
I will.
And then
Or if you can give me an email address, I can send them to you tonight.
either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that way.
My name and contact
that'll
number,
just-
my email's on there as well.
And all we basically are doing is we're substantiating. We do this with everybody.
Yeah,
You're not
of
the
course.
first in this
Of
case.
course.
We're just substantiating. This was his whereabouts according to his financial records. He's her. So eliminate. It's not. I'm trying to think of anything else I could ask you at this time, and
I'd be willing to come back. I just don't want to spend more time with Wendi. If there's anything.
Here's another thing that I typically ask people. Is there anything that you didn't disclose that maybe we didn't ask that you think is of note or is important? Because a lot of times...
Well, he did say that he was very much in love with her. Yeah, he says that he was very in love with her, and he wouldn't be surprised if there were like other men in her life that was also like willing to do whatever she wanted to do as well. Yeah, he mentioned, let's see, in 2013, they started dating, wasn't really serious. Wendi was also seeing other people. But a couple months after that, by March 2014, they became a couple. But in June 2014, that's when they both started fighting. Apparently, he said that she wanted control over things and like they weren't agreeing on stuff like that, fighting too much. I gotta go back to the transcript. He said something specifically like why they were like starting to like fight and all that.
You've thought about this just as much as we have.
That's all
I mean, you got a whole trip to think about and analyze all this stuff.
It's a pretty screwed up family.
I mean, but I'm trying to, you know, everybody's probably in the same brainwave. For murder?
Doesn't seem likely to me. Charlie,
No, but I'm asking your opinion, not.
I can't see the parents being involved. I got the email and I thought of Charlie within a couple moments.
Okay.
That's what I thought of.
Charlie personally or Charlie hiring somebody?
Hiring somebody. No way, Charlie. No way.
Can't?
Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
Couldn't pull the trigger?
I don't know about that. I don't know him that well. I was telling him I used to work juvenile justice a little bit in forensic psychiatry. He gave me the creeps. But I could see him hiring. I could see him. You don't follow the rules, man. I mean, that's how he lives his life. Goes to South America, sees prostitutes. I mean, he does his own thing.
Is he married?
No, he's got 3 girlfriends at all times.
Okay.
Rotates them, and they don't know each other exists, and that's not a crime.
Right.
But the ease with which he did it was
June one of them?
no empathy for other people. That's
Kind of a deceitful person to start with?
Sure. The whole family, really.
Okay.
Yeah, in hindsight,
And
that's
I just have
wild.
this, I guess everything, you didn't ask, and I said it before, I'll just say it one more time. When I looked at that agenda, when I started poking around, when I started looking at my calendar and examining Wendy's behavior and all this kind of stuff, I don't think Wendy would do this. I don't think she's capable. No way. I mean, but there could be people you don't even know about unless you investigate very closely, would be my guess, because there's some weird patterns of behavior when she's in South Florida. I don't know if you know how often she's gone there, but I have it on my calendar. And it is like 30-40% of the time she's not at work, she's in South Florida.
Where's the kids? Down there with her? Or?
Well, like when Danny has them from a week, she'll go, she'll take them with them, she'll drive.
Okay.
But it's like, it was a big problem in our relationship. Like when she's got time off, I want to spend it with her, she's in South Florida. So, I don't know.
All right.
When you think of anything else, just give me one sec. I don't know.
How long did they date? Not even long. He said that September 2013 they started dating, and then 6 months later they became a couple, and then it seems like they broke up by like July, so not even a year.
And I even wonder about another guy in town. I mean, there's just been so much deceit that I wouldn't be shocked. I was telling him she has a lot of free time. Teaches 4 hours a week. Other than that, she's on her own schedule.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, that's enough for today.
Okay, great.
If there's something else comes up, you know, give Corey a call, or
I will.
And we might have to call you back.
Call me back if you need me.
Okay, buddy. Good to meet you.
No, pick his brain some more. I guess the detectives aren't really buying it at this point. There was a mutual friend of Dan and Wendi who was interrogated on the day of the funeral. You can find the video on YouTube. Everything she speculated, but what happened was true.
Right, I'll walk you down.
Great. I'm gonna sit, man.
You can just sit right here, and I'll sit right here with you.
Okay, so they invite Jeff back to do another interview, and this is 2 days after the first initial interview. So now we're in July 23rd. Oh, date's right there. July 23rd, 2014.
Made a couple of notes I've been thinking.
Okay. Do you have a credit card?
I do.
The one that you sent me the email
Right here.
on? Can I just make a copy of that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Wait, why does he need to make a copy of the credit card?
charge anything to your.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I just got to show.
You can't trust the police to hold on to your credit card.
Well, here's the thing. Your account doesn't necessarily show that you are the account holder. There's nothing in that
Gotcha.
correspondence.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to make a copy of this. And really what this is doing is just working to exclude you as a suspect.
Absolutely, yeah. I can also get you
You've
one.
pretty much done that.
Well, I thought so. I'm sure my cell phone records would show that too.
Well, I kind of showed this to my boss, and they're like, well, let's just go ahead and verify that he has this account number.
Sure, gotcha.
And you weren't locking on to somebody else.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory stuff, I know.
Gotcha.
But,
Well, no, you guys got to be careful.
Yeah, we got to check everything out. So I'll be right back. I'll make a copy of this, and then I'll come right back.
I just thought of a few things that might be useful to you.
Okay.
Oh, did he reach out to the police for a second interview?
Sorry, got a million things going on here.
Sure you do.
Is it just kind of, you had some time to think about what I talked to you about?
What it's been is we had a 14-day break while she was in South Florida. Then last 7 days, I haven't heard from her yet. So we're at day 22, 23. No longer under the spell. I'm starting to see a few things a little more clearly.
Okay.
It's been a month since we were intimate, a month since she kind of controlled me that way. So it's, I'm starting to clear up a little bit, man. I'm not under the spell. So there's just some things I think you should know. I'll try to go quick. I know you're busy.
Okay.
But
I appreciate you.
First, there was 2 quick things. You probably already have these, but there's a professor in the department that's totally obsessed with her. You probably already got that.
Who was that?
He's got really bad teeth. I don't know his name. He called her Goddess, and he would send her inappropriate texts.
Oh my God, dude. Someone was texting me, Goddess. I'll burn my phone.
Can't imagine that Wendi wouldn't have mentioned that, but just to make sure you had it. He's an older guy, probably in his 60s. I don't know his name, but he called her Goddess. And he's no fan of Markel.
No crossover, Jan?
I think I know who you're talking about. I haven't talked to him specifically, but
Yeah, seems unlikely, but I figured you want everything.
I'd like to see that interrogation too. Who's the professor of the department that was calling her Goddess and has bad teeth and is in his 60s? I want to watch the interrogation of that. The investigators need to thank Jeff for doing their jobs.
And there was this was one I thought of. There was a student in the fall that was really inappropriate with her. She forwarded a couple emails to me, and he actually kissed her on the mouth during a teacher-student meeting in her office. That was kind of weird. So I don't know his name or anything else, but there was this student that, if you're looking for obsession, that was strange for a student to lean in and kiss a professor on the mouth, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just, Wendi would know the name. She forwarded the email. She was disturbed, but I don't know, you know.
Oh.
If you really needed it, I have that email somewhere. Might have just been a cocky student trying to pick up his hot prof. I don't know, you know, but.
Donna introduced Danny to Wendi. I heard that I heard that Donna was the one that chose Danny for Wendi. I don't know if it was was there like a dating app or something like that? Maybe a dating site, but I did hear that Donna chose Danny for Wendi. Like, I don't know, some sort of weird shit.
If you can find it, you got my email address.
Yeah, would you like to see that one? Okay, I'll
Sure.
send you an email. I think his address is on it.
We haven't excluded anyone really at this point.
Gotcha.
Still.
Okay, a couple other things. I've been seeing a therapist since about, I don't have any major mental health problems, but just to try to deal with Wendi, I was seeing my therapist I used to see when I was going through my divorce. So I was thinking about what we talked about in there. I mean, I've spent like $2,000 on therapy trying to figure out how to deal with Wendi. She's been really hard to handle. And I realized I never put it together. But he, for months, has been concerned that she's a sociopath. And I didn't tell you guys that before. I still love Wendi. I was under her spell. If she called me tomorrow, I'd probably go back to her. But there's a lot of stuff that, as I look back, is really strange. Just to give you a couple examples. Well, I guess one of the things I worry about is Wendi has this public persona. And she's a very good actress, and she's very charismatic and all this kind of stuff. And she knows a lot of people, you know, everybody in Tallahassee knows Wendi. You probably discovered that already. I mean, she's in every social circle, you know, she's very social butterfly-esque and out there and stuff. But in terms of people that know her intimately, have spent like a lot of time with her and seen behind the curtain, you know.
Yeah, he was just really in love with her. Was it on a dating site for Jewish people?
I think it's Markel, me, and maybe that SAC guy in the last 12, 13 years. I mean, she doesn't. You know what I mean? So some of the stuff I had seen was pretty crazy stuff. I mean, no sense of guilt, no empathy, hypersensitivity to criticism. When I said, hey, you cheated, I mean, that's fucked up. She would not apologize. She would not say she felt bad. She would not say she made a mistake. She's a total pathological liar. And I feel bad saying all this because I still love her. She has these flaws and I would have stayed with her. But if you look back at Markel's legal documents, he's constantly talking about her systematic pattern of deception, how she lies all the time. And she told me once, I have a really hard time telling the truth when it's inconvenient or unpleasant. I lie all the time. I mean, she said that to me. So I never would have thought that Wendi was, I know she didn't pull the trigger or anything like that. But the more I thought about it, how much I was manipulated, how much of a spell I was under, and all that kind of stuff, I feel kind of creeped out right now that not. I don't know if she's a suspect or not. The paper says she isn't. But as an accessory, it makes a lot of sense to me at a certain point. So, and I don't know that many people that know her that well. Mm-hmm. When you see behind the curtain, she's a total train wreck. My psychologist was saying, man, she just meets the checklist of a narcissistic sociopath. Go down the list. So, obviously, she's already a person of interest and all that kind of stuff, but...
Gigi. Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering, if Jeff was a little bit scared that the family was going to come after him next.
I thought you should know that I'm a mental health myself.
Right.
So I never saw that when I was under the spell, but I've had people trying to convince me for 3 or 4 months you're dating someone who has real severe sociopathic tendencies.
Right.
So high functioning and attractive, but still, that.
Yeah.
So that's something I just thought I should tell you.
Sure.
Well, I just noticed that Markel, everybody's told me what a nice guy Markel is, and I thought he was Satan, because in our household, he's a psychopathic, stalking, emotionally abusive, controlling jerk. That's how Wendi thinks of him. Now I know.
And that's her assessment of him.
Yes.
Do you have the same assessment of him?
I did when I was with her, because I didn't know. I just believed her.
Right.
But no one else has. What I hear from everybody else is he's an arrogant dick. As far as academic, there's a lot of professors that are arrogant,
Sure.
But he's a good man. That's what I hear people saying. He was a good father. He was a good man, and he was really upset with Wendi. Starting to understand why. There's some timing things here. I hope this is all wrong and you find some disgruntled student that shot him. I want Wendi and her kids to have a good life in South Florida. I still love them. I still care about them. I miss them. I'm pretty heartbroken over all this. But if you want information, I had some things to say. So we have this big fight in Gainesville. And I really confronted her. I'm really hard on her. I'm pissed because I feel like I've been conned, because she's been calling me her boyfriend and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know exactly what the relationship was with Zach, but I found out enough that it was very clear that she was busted, that she was juggling 2 guys in some form or fashion. I don't know.
Do we know about this Zach / is it Zach? Maybe it's supposed to say Zach, but the caption keeps saying Zach. Do we know about this other person named Zach?
Details.
Yeah.
I got the impression I was boyfriend number 2 is why I was pissed. There's no picture on the Facebook page. I noticed there wasn't even a picture of me in her house, and that's when I got really, really upset. I was like, come on, we've been dating 9 months. This is bizarre, So I had it out with her in Gainesville, and then she went to South Florida for 14 days. The whole time she's down there, she's miserable and not that available. But we're talking about future-oriented stuff. We're talking about trying to get back together and desperate to see each other. It sucks that we're separated in this bad situation. I can show you the text, like, can't imagine my life without you. God, I fucking miss you. These are like exact quotes, She gets back to town, we go on a date, and I said it was awkward, but we were holding each other, we're holding hands. There was a future orientation.
So at this point, investigators, they probably just think he's just like a disgruntled ex-boyfriend who's just kind of like venting about the relationship with him and Wendi. I don't know, because I feel like they're not really taking this really serious. The camera's not even pointed at him. They even fixed the camera. Let's see if this investigator has his cell phone muted at least.
So we're going to spend a lot of time together and work this out. That's what we had decided to do. And that was last Monday. It gets really strange from there, and it makes me suspicious. And maybe I'm just paranoid. But then on Tuesday, she called me at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And she said, I walked out of my house, so we're going to see each other that night. And I say, okay, I walked out of your house, what are you going to do? I tried to get a key, but I probably need a locksmith. I said, oh, well, I'll come out and we'll just hang out on your front porch and have our date there. And she's like super sweet and friendly, and it was like everything was okay, actually. She was like, I would love it if you would come keep me company, see you in a little bit, call each other baby, this kind of stuff. When I showed up to yoga, and it ended up that she got into our house, we went to yoga together instead, and we just met there. When I showed up to yoga at 7, something was completely different. She was gone. And that might have been just her talking to her friend and says dump him, and she decides it, and that's it. It had nothing to do with your case. But I would be really curious to know, if I was you, who she talked to between 3 and 7, because something happened where I seem to be irrelevant all of a sudden. And this is after 15, 16 days of her wanting us to, let's just work this out.
Wait. What time frame is this, though? Is this recent?
It just turned in a second. And it gets a little stranger from there, actually.
And this was Tuesday preceding the 18th?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm never.
When did she send you the email?
That was that night. That was
memory.
that Tuesday night. That was Tuesday
Okay.
night, which I suspect was already in her head because.
Well, that may have been she maybe came to a finalization that she was going to do that.
No, I know we're in 2014. I'm just talking about where are we in their relationship. But now we know. It's before when Dan Markel was murdered.
She may have. I mean, I don't want to make this all about me. There's bigger things here. But I did notice some things. I mean, so she's done with me, right? Okay. I'm looking at her. It's not right. Something's wrong here. I walk out to the car, and it's really awkward. Small talk, you know. I can tell she thinks she's done. But she asked me if I was going to be here this weekend. Now, she's done. Why does she give a shit if I'm here Friday? She asked me directly, are you going to be here Friday? And I said, maybe it's up in the air. And it wasn't up in the air. I just didn't want to seem desperate, and I was just going to stay here and not take my trip if Wendy was willing to see me is what that was about. But she was really interested. Oh, why is it up in the air? Oh, because, you know, at his end there's a thing. Okay, well, okay, talk to you.
And this was prior to her sending you the email?
Prior to sending me the email, and the last thing I ever heard from Wendy, last words I exchanged with Wendy were, are you going to be here Friday? I just thought you should know that. It may mean nothing, but it was.
Oh, so is this the part where Jeff is starting to reveal that he thinks maybe Wendy was trying to set him up? Who are you watching right now? This is Jeff LaCasse, who is Wendi Adelson's ex-boyfriend. Can't see his face though. He's on the left side. So maybe after 2 days of thinking, he was like, wait a second, hold on. Was she trying to pin this on me? If the family set this up? I think that's where we're going here.
Okay, well, okay, talk to you.
And this was prior to her sending you the email?
Prior to sending me the email, and the last thing I ever heard from Wendy, last words I exchanged with Wendy were, are you going to be here Friday? I just thought you should know that. It may mean nothing, but it was kind of strange to me. Then the no contact order was also kind of strange to me. Usually you would just send someone an email and say, hey, I need some time to think. She was very strict about that no contact thing. It was almost like she didn't want to be in front of me. You know, I just busted her for
Well, she probably didn't want you to try and talk her out of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, that's my thinking.
Maybe. Or maybe she knew something was going to go down and didn't want me in front of her because I read her pretty well. And I just busted her on a whole host of lies, you know.
Wait, I'm so confused about the no contact thing. Because he was like, well, there's a no contact thing that she's being really strict about. And she could have just sent an email saying that, like, you know, I need some time. What no contact thing? Is it like a formal court document thing? Or are we talking about something else? I'm very confused right now. Jeff had originally planned to leave. Okay, I think I have to. I'm so confused. I must have missed something. Talking to her friend. They went to yoga. He was suspicious. Everything was fine. Okay. Let's listen. Wendy sent Jeff an email on Tuesday night to give her a week to get her thoughts together on her and Jeff's relationship. Is that when she dumped him? During yoga, Wendy heard the killers were en route to kill. She wanted him not to talk to her for 1 week. Yeah, I'm like very, very confused. Okay, I get it now. So it seems like they were, you know, trying to work things out for 15, 16 days. They decided to meet together, do some yoga. And for some reason, sometimes between 3 to 7, Wendy has a change of heart and she doesn't want to be with Jeff anymore. And Jeff's like really confused. She breaks things off with him. And as they're walking in the car, she's like, so what are you going to do this weekend? And he's like, in his head, like, why? We're broken up. Like, why do you care? She's like, oh, are you going to be here this weekend? Like, oh, he's like, oh, maybe it's up in the air. And she's like, oh, why is it up in the air? Are you going to be here on Friday? Okay, I can see why it's a little fucking weird.
I'm here Friday. She asked me directly, are you going to be here Friday? And I said, maybe it's up in the air. And it wasn't up in the air. I just didn't want to seem desperate, and I was just going to stay here and not take my trip if Wendy was willing to see me is what that was about. But she was really interested. Oh, why is it up in the air? Oh, because, you know, at his end there's a thing. Okay, well, okay, talk to you.
And this was prior to her sending you the email?
Prior to sending me the email, and the last thing I ever heard from Wendy, last words I exchanged with Wendy were, are you going to be here Friday? I just thought you should know that. It may mean nothing, but it was kind of strange to me. Then the no contact order was also kind of strange to me. Usually you would just send someone an email and say, hey, I need some time to think. She was very strict about that no contact thing. It was almost like she didn't want to be in front of me. You know, I just busted her for
Well, she probably didn't want you to try and talk her out of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, that's my thinking.
Maybe. Or maybe she knew something was going to go down and didn't want me in front of her because I read her pretty well. And I just busted her on a whole host of lies, you know.
Okay.
This part sounds crazy speculative. I just wanted to give you the information. So that struck me as kind of strange. Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. This was just weird. This is just stuff. Have you seen this picture? Probably seen it in the media accounts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at that picture, my friends that have, I don't have kids, my friends that have kids up and said, look how narcissistic that picture is. Who
What's the
looks good
picture?
in that picture? Not Wendy's kids. Wendy. And this comes out Thursday night. She changes this.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that you said she was taunting you with, or
Well,
whatever,
maybe.
or you thought she
my other
was.
friend, what the other speculation in the community, which is not for me, is like, it's Wendy looks good, but this is a Photoshop picture. Her dad does photography stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So she looks way better than normal in this picture. If you knew you were going to be all over the media, that's how Wendy would want it.
Oh my god. I need to see this picture. Okay, so he's saying that Wendy changed her picture, I guess maybe on her profile or something like that. And the kids, I don't know, they don't look good in the picture, but Wendy looks really good in the picture. Her dad likes to Photoshop. Maybe if you're going to be in the media, you want to have a good picture. Oh my God, hold on a second. Do we have a copy of the Facebook profile picture? I want to see what this Facebook profile picture looks like. The picture was suddenly changed on Thursday night. Do we have a picture of that? Oh, dude, it's like, oh, well, let me make sure my name's going to be in the news. Let me look good. I mean, I know this is like a lot of speculation. We're in conspiracies right now, but I mean, I want to see this picture.
Look. So that may sound crazy to you, but just something to think about. I mean, when you want to picture your kids look good. There's other pictures in this photo set where the kids looking at the camera and are smiling and look great.
Right.
So it's just weird. And I'm not trying to do your job for you to be like an FBI profiler, but it was a thing.
Right.
And that one of the last things would be, it still is, I don't want to be the disgruntled ex-boyfriend, but it's really strange to me that she's never contacted me. It's very strange. We were co-parenting for 6 months. We've talked about Danny for hundreds of hours. No one knows that case better than, as far as her friends, than me. It's really, really odd. I mean, your ex-wife and you are estranged, you're fighting, you're separated, her dad gets hit by a car, you pick up the phone and call, usually, you know? So there's a rigidity to this no contact thing. It just strikes me as very, very odd. She is, I know you said, hey, I wouldn't take that personally. I'm not taking it personally. We're done. I would get it, you know. But what I am taking it as is, it almost looks guilty to me. It looks really strange. Why wouldn't you call for, I've been putting these kids to bed for the last 6 months. I've been riding around in a minivan with them. I care about these kids. She knows that. Even if we're over, not a text message, not a phone call. It looks strange to me. So.
Right. And even more so.
I want to find this picture, but I'm not finding anything. Just a bunch of like Facebook posts about this trial case. Yo, if someone could find me the Facebook profile picture that she changed it to, that would be amazing.
So in lieu of recent events.
Well, that's what I mean, is that when that happened, I didn't expect to hear from her that day. You guys hit her on, you know, into the night. I know all that kind of stuff. But I still haven't heard a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That just is very, very strange. Maybe she's just a cold-blooded,
Bye, Carol.
damaged, needy woman that decided she was done with me, maybe. But if there's any interest in her at all, there's a lot of stuff.
I mean, I will say though, in the second interrogation, if I was the investigators, I would get disgruntled vibes, like, oh, this guy just has a grudge against Wendy. He's upset that she dumped him. But that will be just like my first off bat impression of all this. But I want to see this picture.
Sociopathic stuff here, seems like. The ease with which she lies is really disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I had to say. I just thought you'd want to know that.
Okay. Yeah, well, I got you here. I did want to run down on some of your, I printed out your stuff that you sent me here. Let me just flip through it and try and find it.
They're a little out of order because of when they cleared, but yeah.
Okay, so this day's end was actually, even though it says the 18th, I talked to the clerk and she said you were there on the 17th.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Thursday night, which is what you said.
Yeah.
You know, so this is mainly done for exclusionary
I got it.
purposes.
I'm not worried.
So I got you here. And then when did this transaction occur? Like, it doesn't have a time. Can you give me kind of more of a specific time?
Thomasville?
Yes.
That would have been on the way there, so 9, 10 o'clock.
And do you remember what time you got into the Days Inn?
The point of Jeff's third time, I think the police knew Wendi wasn't taking calls from them and her family neither. Yeah, the third interrogation happens like almost like a year later, like 6 months later.
Before midnight. Let's think about it. I left here around 8. I wasn't going to drive past midnight. It might have been 12:15 or something. But I went from here to South and landed, average of 75 or something.
$37 in gas on Friday.
I'm going to speak through this a little bit.
At Ayersville, Georgia?
Yeah, that would have been somewhere between Atlanta and Tennessee.
And this was actually on Friday.
It was.
Right, so even though this one's the transaction date, it was close enough to the 18th.
Yeah, they're just double checking his alibi really quick. Getting his credit card stuff, making sure the transaction's all good, and he's where he said he was.
And you said you got out of here about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it was about almost exactly 9. Just as a thought experiment. I would have stopped in front of a truck for this woman.
Mhm.
I'm a mature 42-year-old guy who's dated a lot of women. She just got caught into the spell. So that combined with just the, I think that's kind of unusual when you have 2 boyfriends. I think that takes a certain lack of conscience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how easily she did that. Just makes me wonder. I really hope she's not involved at all. In
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I don't think she is, but I mean, time will tell.
I don't think she'd be directly
Did y'all listen to his testimony during Charlie Adelson's trial?
involved, but as an accessory at this point, I gotta tell you, that's in my head. So I just wanted you to know that. I don't know. You know a lot more data than I do.
Sure, yeah. Well, if you don't have anything else,
Nope, that's it.
I appreciate you coming in. And if you want to go ahead and send me that email, if you still got it.
Yeah, I'll find that email.
And then,
All right, so we don't hear from Jeff for another 6-7 months.